Hi, welcome to the 28-day beginning guitar accelerator. I'm Jake with Guitar Gym Pro. First, why do I think, why do I know, why am I so sure that I can get you playing guitar in 28 days? From your first song to soloing. I'm not a naturally gifted musician. I think there's a myth out there that a lot of people have this special ability, this secret talent. Truth is, I'm just stubborn. I played guitar the first time when I was 12 and I just loved it and I never wanted to stop. I wasn't particularly good at it. I tripped over my fingers. I couldn't figure out how to play chords. Scales were a mystery, but I loved to play. And so I knew I had to figure out how to get good at guitar. And that's what I did. I wasn't the best player when I was in college. I wasn't the best player when I was in high school. Heck, I wasn't even the best player when I was in middle school. I was always at the bottom of the pack of my friends who played. But I loved it so much, I knew I was going to stick with it. And I just never gave it up. I've been a professional musician now for 13 years. I've been teaching lessons for the same amount of time. And I've taken over 500 students from beginning to soloing, all very, very quickly. And I'm confident I can do the same for you. First things first, let's go over how to hold the guitar and how to actually play it physically. You see, I've got a strap that I'm using to hold the guitar. Now, this is to hold the guitar in place so when I let go, the guitar doesn't go anywhere. Now, I'm not controlling it with my hands. I'm letting the strap do the work, and then I'm just bringing my hands to the guitar. That's going to be the easiest and most comfortable. And you'll want the strap to be at a place where when you're sitting, the guitar isn't resting on your leg, but is instead held up by that strap. Now, if you don't have a strap, not to worry. You can rest that arch of the guitar on your leg. You put your arm over, and this is going to stabilize the guitar, right? The crook of my elbow is on the curve of the guitar there. I'm just setting my strap to the side. Let's talk about talking about the guitar so we can be on the same page as we're going through this lesson. We're going to give numbers to a lot of things. And the first thing we're going to number is the strings. You'll see there's 6 strings on the guitar. We're going to number them from the thinnest, or the one on the bottom of the guitar closest to the ground, to the thickest, the one on the top. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the thickest will be the 6th string. Always feel free to watch the exercise, rewind, and then do the exercise. So I'm going to call out a string and then I'm going to ask you to pluck it. I'll demonstrate. So string 1 is the thinnest, closest to the ground. String 5 is the second thickest. String 2, second thinnest. String 6. String 3. String 1. String 4. String 6. Good. Feel free to go back through that exercise and review. The next set of numbers we need to tackle are the frets. The frets are the metal strips running along the edge of the guitar. If I say first fret, I mean just behind, towards the headstock, the first metal strip. Second fret would be just behind the second one. Third fret would be just behind the third. Open means we don't play any fret. And when we're playing, let's say the first fret, we're going to be on the first string here. I want to be as close to the fret as I can without touching it. And by close to the fret, I mean towards the body of the guitar. Now I'm not touching the fret, that would give me a muted sound. I'm just behind the fret. Now I'm going to call out a string number and a fret number, and we're going to go ahead and play that. So we'll start with first fret on the first string. Now let's try second fret on the second string. How about third fret on the 6th string? How about first fret on the 3rd string? How about second fret on the 5th string? All right, we've got one last set of numbers, and that's going to be for our fingers on our fretting hand. We're only using 4 of them. Our thumb ends up behind the guitar. So we use 1 for index, 2 for middle, 3 for ring, and 4th for pinky. So again, we've got string numbers, fret numbers, and our 4-finger numbers. Now let's talk about our left hand. To fret notes, to actually play notes and chords on the guitar, we want to hold the neck in the way that's going to be most comfortable for our left hand in the long term, or our fretting hand. So give me a loose thumbs up, put it in the middle of the back of the neck, maybe a little bit higher than the middle of the back. And we're going to curl our fingers over. Now you'll notice when I do this, I'm curling so the tips of my fingers are touching the guitar. You'll see as I go along the edge too. I've got space here. I'm not death gripping it like a baseball bat. Got my thumbs up and then rolling my fingers around, creating a lot of space. The pad of my thumb and the tips of my fingers are on the guitar. Lastly, we're going to learn how to hold the pick. This one also starts with a loose thumbs up in our picking hand. You see, I'm not gripping tight. I'm just nice and relaxed here. We're going to set the pick with the point pointed off to the left if you're right-handed, right if you're left-handed. You're just going to set your thumb on the guitar, or on the pick, I'm sorry. You're going to set your thumb on the pick. Now, we're pinching the pick between the side of our index finger, right? The side of our index finger and the pad of our thumb. We do this because it's the most relaxed position for our hand. We can keep a straight wrist when we bring it to the strings. And in both hands, we really do want to have those straight wrists. That's what we're looking for. We don't want our wrist bent out or bent under. Same here, we don't want it scooped out or scooped in. We just want a nice relaxed straight wrist on both of our wrists. Also, if we pinch the pick between the pads of our fingers like this, we have finger oil both on the pad of our thumb and the pad of our index finger, and we'll lose our pick a lot. When we put it on the side, it better lets us hold on to the pick and control volume. It may feel a little uncomfortable at first, but a day or two of practice and you'll be feeling confident holding the pick this way. All right, it's time to learn our first chord for our song today. It's going to be a D as in dog, sus, S-U-S, which stands for suspended 4. D, sus, 4. We'll call it D for short. There's a reason that it's got that long name. We will learn that in a future lesson, but for right now, I just want you to know we're learning the D, sus, 4 chord. We'll be calling it D for short. We're going to start with our 4th finger, our pinky, on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. We're then going to take our ring finger, our 3rd finger, and play 3rd fret of the 2nd string. We're then going to take our index finger and play 2nd fret of the 3rd string. Then we play the 4th string open and we strum them all together. Let's go over that one more time. We use our pinky on 3rd fret of the 1st string, our ring finger on 3rd fret of the 2nd string. You'll notice both our ring finger and our pinky are on 3rd fret. One is on the 1st string, one is on the 2nd. Our index finger is on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. Play the 4th string open. We don't play the 5th or 6th strings for this D chord. Great. I'm going to give you my favorite exercise for learning new chords. It's called a grab and release exercise. What I do is I let go of the chord and then I grab it again. You see, I'm resting my hand down, I'm coming all the way away from the neck, so I have to make the chord from nothing. Starting with that pinky, 3rd fret of the 1st string, ring finger, 3rd fret of the 2nd string, index finger, 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and we strum strings 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, pause the video or follow along with me and do this exercise 10 times. This will be our 2nd. Our 3rd. fourth, here's our fifth, remember we've got our pinky on third fret of the first string, ring finger third fret of the second string right next to each other, index finger second fret of the third string, and we're strumming strings 4 through 1. Sixth, seventh, eighth, nine, we got one more, that's 10. Now, you can follow along with me, do the exercise with me, pause the video and do it yourself, but you have to do the work. I can show you what to play, I can show you how to play it, I can even help you with accountability to make sure you are playing it, but I can't practice for you. So make sure you're pausing this video and going through those exercises. Now that we know how to play our D chord, our D sus4 chord, let's look at how to read a chord box. When you see a chord box, it's going to look like the guitar neck up and down, just like this one is. You'll see that we have our thick strings on the left of the diagram, thin strings on the right side of the diagram. The lines going up and down are showing you where the frets are. So we can visually see where our strings are, we can visually see where our frets are, and the number tells us which of our 4 fingers to use. You'll see the number 4 that lines up with the 3rd fret on the first string, and that's showing us to use our pinky. You'll see the 3 lining up with 3rd fret on the 2nd string, that's telling us to use our ring finger. And we're using our index finger on 2nd fret of the 3rd string, so you'll see the number 1 there. So that's how D sus4 looks. Let's take a look at C sus2. Now, looking at the diagram, you'll see that our 3rd and our 4th finger are in the same spot. 4th finger, 3rd fret on the first string. 3rd finger is on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. Now, for our D sus4 chord, our index finger is down, but you'll notice that on the C sus2, there isn't a number 1. We're not using our index finger. Instead, we're using 2, our middle finger, on 3rd fret of the 5th string. Now you'll see an X over the 4th string on the diagram instead of a 0. The X is saying we don't play the 4th string, and the 0 is saying we do play the 3rd string. Now don't worry about trying not to play the 4th string. Your middle finger, that 2nd finger that's playing 3rd fret on the 5th string, will naturally mute the 4th string. Hear it when I play it slowly. You heard that thunk when I plucked the 4th string, and it still sounds like a beautiful chord when we play it all together. That's our C sus2. Instead of doing the grab and release we did on the D chord, let's go back and forth between the D sus4 and the C sus2 chord. What I'm going to do is I'm going to count to 4, and when I get to 1, I'm going to strum the D chord. When I get to 1 again, I'm going to strum the C chord. If it seems a little confusing, watch me do it, then rewind the video and do it with me. Starting with the D sus4, I'm going to count 4 and come in the second time I get to 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got one more chord to learn, so we know 3 chords and can play our first song. Starting at the C sus2 chord, pinky on 3rd fret of the 1st string, ring finger on 3rd fret of the 2nd, middle finger on 3rd fret of the 5th string. we're going to learn to play a G, as in giraffe, 5 chord, G5. We move our middle finger to the 6th string. That's 3rd fret of the 6th string. Looks very similar to the C sus2, the G5. Nice and slowly, we have our pinky on 3rd fret of the 1st string. We have our ring finger on 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and our middle finger on 3rd fret of the 6th string, making our G5 chord. Let's do the same exercise where we count to 4 from C sus2 to G5. I'm going to count to 4 and I'll come in the second time I say 1 on the C chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, the next thing we need to work on to learn our first song is playing along with a metronome. Now, a metronome is a device or an app or something that's going to keep a steady pulse that we can play along with to make sure that we're playing in time. The best way to practice playing in time is playing along with a recording. Being able to play with a band as they played the song, you put on the record, you play with it, that's awesome. But in the beginning, we're going to need to play a little slower than the recording so that we can work up to that level. So taking a look at the metronome, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to set it to 60 beats per minute. If it has an option to be set in 4/4 or 6/8 or some sort of denomination, we want to do 4/4. And we want to have each click sound the same. We don't want each one to be different. So let me demonstrate what it would sound like. It's just a steady rhythmic clicking that we can play along with. Now, most music is in what we call 4/4 time signature. That means we have 4 quarter notes. Really what that's telling us is that we're going to count to 4 over and over again as a pattern for the song. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to play the metronome, and I'm just going to count to 4 after we listen to 4 clicks. Try it with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, pause the video, scroll back, watch that again, go through and count with me. Now, instead of counting, we're still going to count, but we're also going to clap as we count 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start adding in actually playing chords. We're going to go back to our D sus4, our C sus2, and our G5 chord. What we're going to do is we're going to strum on beat 1. That's when we count 1. We're going to strum the D chord, then we're going to strum the C chord. Then we're going to strum the G chord, not once, but twice. So the first number 1, D, second number 1, C, third is G, fourth is G. We're going to try this with the metronome. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, D, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3. Twice on the G, G, 2, Back to the beginning. D, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3, 4. G, 2, 3, 4. Twice. G, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3, 4. G, 3, 4. G, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3, 4. G, 2, 3, 4. G, 2, 3, 4. Good. Now, we can write this out in a way that helps us remember it and visualize it as well. What we do is we start off with a musical staff and we draw slashes through it. There's 4 of them. That represents our 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now what we do is we would write the name of the chord above the slash that we wanted to play it on. In this case, we would need 4 bars or 4 measures of that 4 count. Each one would have 4 slashes. We would have the D above the first one, a C above the second bar, a G above the third bar, and a G again, because remember we did it twice, over the 4th bar. Now, we can actually have these chords come at us more quickly. We could play D on beat 1, C on beat 3, a G on beat 1 of the next measure, and a G on beat 3 of that same measure. And that would look like this. Let's set our metronomes to quarter note equals 60 and try this next example. 2, 3, 4. D, C, G, 2, 4. D, 2, C, 4. G, 2, G, 4. D, 2, C, 4. G, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, C, 4. G, 2, 3, 4. Again, you can pause here, rewind, go back and play that with me. Now don't get worried if that feels too fast. Go back to the exercise before, where we're only strumming on beat 1. Continue to practice that today, practice that tomorrow, practice that the next day. And I promise you're going to feel much more confident playing these chords quickly. Now, I want to talk about how we're changing these chords. When we're playing the D, and then we're going to the C. Now, in a musical situation, when we're playing with our friends, when we're strumming and singing a song, we want to hold the chord as long as we can and change it the last minute, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. However, when we're practicing, one thing that can really help us is as soon as we strum with our right hand, using that time that we're counting 2, 3, and 4 to set up and change our next chord. Our first example, where we're playing each chord for 4 counts, gives us a lot of time to change. When we're playing it for 2 counts, we have less time to change. So we want to use that time to change and then make our exercises a little bit more difficult. Let me demonstrate. I'm going to change quickly, 4 counts per chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. See, as soon as I strum the chord, I'm changing to the next one. Now, if I do 2 beats per chord, again changing on 1 and 3, it would be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, that sounds a little bit less musical than holding the chords as long as we can, but it is a good tool to help us practice. Now, this second example where we're changing chords on beat 1 and beat 3, we're playing D, C, G, and then G again. That's our song. We're playing Sweet Home Alabama by Lynyrd Skynyrd. Now, if you can play this at 100 beats per minute, you're ready to play along with the recording. I'm going to demonstrate 100 beats per minute so you can get a feel for it. I'll pull back to 60. We'll play it one more time together. And that's our first day. 1, 2, 3, 4. D, C, G, G, D, 2, C, 4, G, 2, 3, 4, D, 2, C, G, 2, 3, 4, D, C, G. I know that's quick. That's probably faster than you can play it comfortably right now, but it is something to shoot for. Over the course of the next 4 to 5 days, if you continue to practice these exercises, use a metronome, and increase the tempo, you will be able to make this kind of progress. The way that I want you to practice this song, I'm going to set the metronome to quarter note equals 60. I'm going to set a timer for 2 minutes. And what we're going to do is we're just going to loop this chord progression, this song, for 2 minutes without stopping at quarter note equals 60. Now, if I do pretty well at that, I would go ahead and bump the tempo up, maybe 66, maybe 68. If I'm feeling really great, maybe 72. I'm working my way up to 100. Setting the metronome at quarter note equals 60, the timer for 2 minutes so you can play along with me and get a feel for how long to practice on your own. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 30 seconds so far. Fifty seconds left. Almost there. Fifteen seconds. There it is. That's our 2-minute mark. It oftentimes can feel like a long time when you're playing it, but that's what we want to do. Repetition is what is going to make us good. We can sit down and practice for a half hour and noodle and play in and out of here and grab the chords. What's going to make us the best the most quickly is putting on that timer for 2 minutes, playing our song, looking to increase the tempo. I would turn around, set another timer for 2 minutes and bump that up to 68 or 70 since I felt pretty good with it. If I didn't feel great about it, I would slow it down, maybe go to a 4 count instead of a 2 count. That's how we're going to practice and get better.